I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Dickey Ridge Visitor Center. It's closed for the winter, but the bathrooms are still open over here. Large parking area. There's an overlook over that way. I'm gonna cross over Skyline Drive and head down the other side of the mountain and hike the Fox Hollow Loop. I've hiked it before, but I'm going back to look for some stuff I saw on LiDAR and also some building foundations I saw on an old map. The elevation here is 1,920 feet. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 1,860 feet. I've been hiking on the Dickey Ridge Trail. That's where I came from. The visitor center's up that way. And right here's the intersection with the Fox Hollow Trail. If you keep going straight, that's Dickey Ridge Trail continued. We're going to turn and head down into Fox Hollow. They've set this up as a 1 mile loop, goes down here a ways, and then it loops back around over that way and comes back up to the visitor center over there. I've been down here before, but I'm coming down again to take a look at some stuff I saw on LiDAR. Maybe I can find some stuff that I haven't seen before. And when you get down here to the very bottom, there's an old map I'll show you when I do the map talk that shows the locations of some old foundations. So I'm going to look for them too. I'm getting pretty close to my first LiDAR waypoints. We'll see if we can find anything when we get down here. Well, I pushed my way back up in there to my LiDAR image, waypoint FL1, and it's very hard getting up in there. It's super overgrown with nasty stuff. The only thing I saw though was some pretty substantial piles of rocks up there. You can't see them from here. I'm about 100 feet away now. I'm back on the trail heading on down into the hollow. Now right here is a pretty good sized pile of rocks right here. So just keep heading on down. Here's more rock piles here right by the trail. That's a big rock pile right there. Just walked past it. And then there's one here. And then there's a couple more down here. Sorry about the jiggly camera, but let's see. There's one there, and there's another one behind that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, mostly in a line. Mostly in a line. And we'll continue descending into the hollow. All right, well, you're looking at my FL3 waypoint. I saw something on LiDAR. I think this is a big hole in the ground. The trail's way up there, and then it comes down here, and then starting right about there, it looks like somebody over time dug all this out. So I don't know if they were digging for gold or something. Anyway, nothing of any significance nowadays. I'm going to, oh, and by the way, that right there is kind of graded almost like a road heading down that way. It's really overgrown though. It's just, I'm gonna have to just push my way back up to the trail up this way. And the next stop should be the cemetery. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 1,760 feet. And that FL3 waypoint was down there. And I climbed up here, back up to the trail, which is right here. And next stop is the Fox family graveyard right here. I'll go in and get a few still photographs. So this one appears to be the oldest interment here. Thomas Fox, born March 2nd, 1811, died June 6, 1873. I'll have to look this up, but since she's buried right next to him, this is either, let's see, by her. That says Gertrude Fox died June 22nd, 1904, aged 21 years. So that's probably his daughter then. She sleeps in Jesus by her sister, it says. Gertrude Fox. And then up here, I'm pretty sure this is his son. Lemuel F. Fox died May 24th, 1916, age 78 years. Gone but not forgotten by his daughter. Here's a spring box somebody put in next to the trail. This one's concrete and stone, or concrete and gravel. Missing the top. Maybe you can see the water in there. And then it drains on down that way, which is the way I'm headed. Here's an old abandoned mill stone sitting there. It's down here next to this creek, so I guess it's possible there was a little bit of a water-powered mill here. Anyway, there's the stone. Here's part of a stone wall just off the trail. Probably be hard to see that in the summertime, but there it is. Heading on down where I'm going. Down this way to the bottom where the creek is. Nine-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down to 1,675 feet. And this is the bottom of the hike. Right here's the creek. And I am going to go over here on the other side of the creek and push back in there and see if I can find any evidence of old foundations. Well, it's darn near impossible to. The creek's right down there. The bottom of the hike is over here, so I'm a little below that, where the foundations were supposed to be. But I can't really say if there's any in there or not. I pushed in a little bit, but it's just too overgrown, even in the wintertime now. So I had to bail out of there. I'm standing on a rock wall, which is at the edge of a road. The road heads on down that way to the north and takes you to another abandoned homestead down that way. And if you follow this road, this is part of the old Belmont Road, I guess. If you follow this far enough, it'll take you all the way down to Front Royal. Right here, I don't know if you can make that out or not, but there's barbed wire here. So the edge of this road was probably the edge of the Fox property. And see that barbed wire there? And then that's the surface of the road right there. It was a dirt road heading on down that way. So I'm going to turn around, and I got to push through some nasty stuff here to get back over to the Fox Loop, and then I'll start climbing back up towards the visitor center. So just as a reference, here's the I'm getting ready to climb back up to the visitor center on this road. This is the old road. You'll see it on the old maps, and what it used to do is come down and just go straight on that way. And what they've done is they blocked all this off so you can't go back in there now. And they just they made a sharp turn here, almost a 180, and then you loop back like that. So this Fox Loop, you can hike it either way you want, and just goes around a big loop. So I'm going to start climbing back up to the visitor center this way. .6 miles into my hike. I'm up to 1,880 feet. It's been a steep climb for the last 1/10 of a mile. This is the intersection with the Dickey Ridge Trail. It runs north and south. That way's headed south, and this way's headed north. And I'm headed up this way. The visitor center's just up there over the horizon. Can't quite see it. Almost done. This is a map of today's hike. It's two quadrangle maps pasted together. The top part is Front Royal, 1994, and the bottom part is Chester Gap, 1994. And this is another hike down into Fox Hollow, looking for some old foundations at the bottom of the hike, and also a couple things I saw on LiDAR that I wanted to go investigate. Now, this map from 1994, it does not have a very good pictorial representation of this Fox Hollow loop. So I'm going to switch to a hand-drawn map that I saw on the Shenandoah online records. This is Skyline Drive, and this is mile marker 5. This is the Dickey Ridge Visitor Center over here. So you park here and walk across the street, and right here there is a information sign, and you can either go around the loop counterclockwise like this, or do it the way I did it, which is clockwise. This is the Dickey Ridge, well, this is now called Dickey Ridge Trail. But you get on that and you head north, and right here you'll see a concrete signpost that directs you down into Fox Hollow. You start descending and you'll start seeing piles of rocks on either side of the trail going down. Now, this is Fox Loop waypoint 1 and waypoint 2 and waypoint 3. These are things that are not on any map. I saw them on a LiDAR and wanted to go investigate them. Well, I pushed my way through the nasty over to this one, and this just turned out to be some fairly large piles of rock. It was really thorny, so I didn't go any further, but this one looked the same on the LiDAR, so it's probably also just a rock pile. After this, I went back down to the trail, continued to follow the trail down to about here, and then I went downhill towards this creek here, to this point right here. Now, this was another place that was hard to get to. This looked like a large dig right here, like a large dugout area. And I think that's why it showed up on LiDAR. Didn't see anything real obvious, but it wasn't piles of rocks. It was like a hole in the ground. Climbed up the hill, up to here, went over and got some pictures of the Fox family graveyard. Then I continued on down. Now, this is the bottom of the hike right here. So I didn't see anything here, but again, super overgrown. I came down to here and I pushed my way in here looking for these foundations and this spring house, which is shown on this map. It's east of the creek and it's west of this old abandoned road. I looked around in here some, but I didn't see anything, but I couldn't 100% investigate it either, just because of the overgrowth. Really bad. If you look on the old maps, you'll see that this road continues on like this to another homestead up here, and eventually this road takes you all the way down to Front Royal called Old Belmont Road. So anyway, look for this stuff, but really didn't see anything. So then I just followed the old road. Well, what they've done here, okay, this isn't correct anymore either. They've abandoned, this section of it's been abandoned, and there's a cutoff right here that brings you up to Dickey Hill Trail, and then finally back up to the visitor center. So this was a real short hike. Ended up being 1.9 miles and a total ascent of 354 feet. And that was the hike for today.